Good evening, everyone. Another Tuesday. Welcome back. No Christian visit for me today. But before we look at this week's picture, look where I ended up. My one free cross ended up in zone 1. How on earth did that happen? If we look at the figures here, so the winning cross was 2085,628. Mine was 2077,596. But weirdly, and more to the point, of the two averages we did last Saturday, the second average was only 4 pixels away from the same height as that cross, but it was about 64 pixels to the left. So I think I would have dropped it in zone 2. I didn't go with the average. I liked where I was because I thought it had to be high. If you remember in the video, I said, look, the reason I took the 4 bottom crosses out, I said it's got to be high because this fella is looking high and this guy over here is looking high, so the ball had to be high up. But it depended on which side the judges were going to look at. Were they going to look at him and go up here somewhere, or were they going to look at this guy and go up here somewhere? Well, it looked like they looked on the guy on the right and went up that direction somewhere. So I'm very surprised to have got in zone 1, and I actually misunderstood it because, as you know, the first thing that comes through on the BOTB website is you get a notification about your credit that you've had back. And that came through first, and I could see it was £1.50, and I thought, oh, that's terrible, I must be in zone 3 or zone 4 or whatever. Then when I looked at the picture, when the full results come in, I couldn't find my cross, because I was looking in zone 3, I was looking in zone 4, I thought, I can't find it. Then I realised it was there, and then I remembered, well, I only did my free cross and spent an extra 150 for the extra 50 grand on the slider. So then it dawned on me, bloody hell, my one cross I did is in zone 1. So that was a surprise because our coordinates that we volunteered last week were absolutely all over the place. They were down here, they were up there. That was my instinct, it was going to be in that area. And luckily it was. I mean, I didn't gain that much out of it, obviously, £1.50, but it obviously means I didn't lose £1.50. So now I've got £10.60 to spend this week, but as I haven't spent any money this will be the 5th week, I've got no free ticket this week, so I'm probably going to go for the 200,000. Anyway, let's have a look at the judging, because I haven't looked at the judging yet, so it's going to come as a surprise to me as well. Well, do you know what? That's not as mental as I was expecting. I was expecting to see some right over here on the left, right over here on the right. There's 2 further down here, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's a cluster there together, which I wasn't expecting at all this week. So what do I think will happen here? They're going to take that bottom one out, didn't they? And I think, considering there's such a tight cluster of 6 there, I'm pretty sure they'll take that other one out as well. I don't know whose they are. I'm colourblind. I can't match it up with the thing on the side. But yeah, they've got to go with that cluster over there. But can't really complain about that. I mean, if 6 people think it's in that area, then who am I to argue? All right, let me fast forward it and see what they actually did, see if they took those 2 out. They did take those 2 out, and one of them was Matt's again. I think that's the second week in a row they've taken the head judge, Matt Cannon's cross out. How bizarre. But look at that, can't complain about that, can you? I mean, 6 crosses all in a cluster over there. That makes total sense to me that was a correct decision. I haven't watched all the in-between talking and the reasons of why they went where they went, because half the time I think it's nonsense. Yeah, I'm surprised at where the judges went. Good result for me, obviously, zone 1. Never expected that. I genuinely thought this was going to be the first week I was in zone 5. But there we go. Let's have a look at this week's picture then. Seems to be better. I've had a look at it. I've stuck 1 cross in. So there's my 1 cross. What's my thoughts on this photo this week then? Well, this guy on the right hand side has got his back Sean Penn. I don't know if you know your actors. He's got his back arched and his shoulders are forward, which is weird. I think he's forming that, you know, when you form that sort of, you push your chest out as though you're going to stop the ball with your chest. I think he's doing that because I don't think he's going to head it. And if he had headed it, his arms would have been back as he's pushing his head forward. So his head's not forward enough to have been heading it. And I think the ball is coming down to him and he's going to catch it on his chest. I think that would explain why his shoulders are forward. So let me draw a line from where I think his eye is looking up there. Obviously it's my first one of the week. It could be a lot lower, higher, further to the left, further to the right. Who knows? I might change it through the week. I usually do. And if I draw some lines from a young Matt Damon on the left here, a very young Matt Damon, he also looks as though he's looking in that position there where I've put my cross. So if I look at that picture as a whole, it looks as though Matt could be looking in that spot, and can't quite see Sean Penn's eyeballs properly, but going by the angle on his head, I think he's looking in that area. Might even be a little bit lower, it's hard to tell. But that's my one cross so far for the start of the week, 2816842. I'll put it in the comments. Let's see where the average is again this week. So we'll do the same thing. I'll put a comment in the comment section saying reply to this with the coordinator. We'll make another video on Saturday. Have a look where the average is. I didn't think many of us were going to go by the average last week, but it was surprisingly, the second average was surprisingly closer than I thought it would be. So even that was quite accurate, despite the fact that our cross it's the biggest spread I'd ever seen. Anyway, guys, let me know how you got on. Any of you got zone 1, or you? Well, I know a couple of you did, because some of you were going to go roughly near where I was and where the average was. So a few of you will have. Let me know if you had the runner-up, though, because, I mean, that's good going, that. Right, thanks, guys, and I'll speak to you in the comments, and good luck.